Yes, people, welcome back to the newest video on React Upwards. It is NF Hope. If you haven't checked out the most recent videos we've done, which is MGKL Pistolero first time reaction, you know what to do. If you like the content, like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Comment on how it's looking audio, visually, and what you would like to hear next, and thoughts on the reaction. Let's get into this.
Yeah, I'm on my way, I'm coming. Don't lose faith in me. I know you've been waiting. I know you've been praying for my soul.
Okay, obviously this is just like the intro. It hasn't even kicked in yet, but he seems to be on a raft, stranded in the middle of the sea. He's just talking at the minute, saying, I'm on my way, I'm coming, don't lose faith in me, I know you've been waiting, I know you've been praying for my soul. He keeps repeating the word hope. He goes, hope, hope. So he's talking to himself, or praying by the sounds of it.
30 years you've been dragging your feet, telling me I'm the reason we're stagnant. 30 years you've been claiming you're honest and promising progress. Well, where is it at? I don't want you to feel like a failure. I know this hurts, but I gave you your chance to deliver. Now it's my...
Okay, seems like I paused it just before it's about to kick off, so apologies. He's standing up and the music was building up, but I just have to get into this. So after he finishes the initial talking, I was thinking he might be praying to someone or talking inwardly. I believe he's talking inwardly to himself, because he starts going off saying, 30 years you've been dragging your feet, telling me I'm the reason we're stagnant. I'm assuming this is either him talking about someone or to himself. This is him talking to his demons. 30 years you've been claiming you're honest and promising progress. Well, where's it at? Where's the progress at? I don't want you to feel like a failure. I know it hurts, but I gave you your chance to deliver. Now it's my turn. And then he stood up, so it feels, judging from how the music was building, it seems like he's about to snap and switch up the flowing into it and stop talking, but he's obviously reflecting deeply and having a deep conversation about how he's not where he should be at after 30 years.
Failure. I know this hurts, but I gave you your chance to deliver.
I'm looking at the lyrics, by the way, so if you ever see me do that, it's because I'm reading the lyrics.
Now it's my turn. Don't get me wrong. Nature had a great run, but it's time to give the people something different. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my album.
Okay, and then he carries on to say, I don't want you to feel like a failure. I know this hurts. And as we mentioned, gave you a chance. It's my turn. Keeps talking to himself now. He addresses himself, the person who goes, Nate, I know you've had a great run, but it's time to give the people something different. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my album, but there's 4 or 5 my's. It's like my album, my album, my album. Is that is he signaling the fans all wanting something different, saying, I want you to go this way, that way, this way, that way? Is it inside his head he's saying all the demons are saying it's my album, like he's got many voices in his head stressing? Is that what he's signaling?
My hope. What's my definition of success? Listening to what your heart says, standing up for what you know is right while everybody else is tucking their tail between their legs. What's my definition of success? Creating something no one else can. being brave enough to dream big. Grinding when you're told to just quit. Giving more when you got nothing left. It's a person that'll take a chance on something they were told could never happen. It's a person that can see the bright side through the dark times when there ain't one. It's when
yeah, he definitely turned up that flow, and that beat came in hard. And F's got some great beats from what I've heard. Visually, I'm noticing there's him dressed in all black and him dressed in all white. Is that signifying the good and the bad? Apparently he links quite a lot of his music videos together, so you're going to have to let me know down below like what order to watch the ones that I haven't watched in. But is he signifying the good and the bad in terms of the lyrics of the first proper verse? He goes, what's my definition of success? Listening to what your heart says. Fair enough. Standing up for what you know is right, while everyone else is tucking their tail between their legs, they're hiding away. He's saying, I'd rather say how I feel and be right than hide. Talks about creating something no one else can, being brave enough to dream big, grinding when you're told to just quit. He seems to give that message in quite a few songs. I'm guessing he's been told he's had quite a lot of rejection in his music career previously, and not thinking he'd make it, which a lot of artists do go through. It talks about how it's a person that'll take a chance on something they were told never could happen. Again, linking into what I just mentioned.
Someone who ain't never had nothing ain't afraid to walk away from more profit because they'd rather do something that they really love and take the pay cut.
Love that message. It's when someone who ain't never had anything ain't afraid to walk away from more profit because they'd rather do something that they really love and take the pay cut. It's a person that would never waver or change who they are, someone who isn't prioritising money as number one, and they would rather do what they do and take the longer route and be happy than sell themselves out for money.
Can see the bright side through the dark times when there ain't one. It's when someone who ain't never had nothing ain't afraid to walk away from more profit because they'd rather do something that they really love and take the pay cut. It's a person that would never waver or change who they are just to try and gain some credibility so they can feel accepted by a stranger. It's a person that can take the failures in their life and turn them into motivation. It's believing in yourself when no one else does. It's amazing what a little bit of faith can do. If you don't even believe in you, why would you think or expect anybody else that's around you to? I done did things that I regret. I done said things I can't take back. Was a lost soul at a crossroad who had no hope, but I changed that. I spent years of my life holding on to things I never should have kept, full of hatred. Years of my life carrying a lot of baggage that I should have walked away from. Years of my life wishing I was someone different, looking for some validation. Years of my life trying to fill a void, pretending I was in them. They get it.
Wow, I was just letting that play because he was just going off and I couldn't stop it. It was too good to stop. Again, not sure where the whole map premise comes into it. The version of him in the dark clothes, like kind of taunting him and say come this way and then pushes him through the floor. I'm not sure where the link is between the light and the dark, the map and the falling through, but lyrically very, 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 very good. Talked about previously people who will take a pay cut to do what they really want to do. People who won't change who they are just to try and gain some credibility so they could feel accepted by a stranger, a person who can take failures in their life and turn them into motivation. He's inwardly reflecting. It seems like he's been through all this. Believing in yourself when no one else does. It's amazing. Then he talks about having a little bit of faith, and why would you think or expect anyone else around you to have faith in you if you don't have faith in yourself? He talks about doing things he regrets and being a lost soul at a crossroads who had no hope, but he's changed it, and how he's left the things he was holding on to for years, left them behind and walked away from them. I do know he's got a song called Mansion. I believe this is something to do, like a link with the song Mansion. He fell into the mansion. Again, I need to do more research on this and listen to more tracks. So if you can fill in any gaps, let me know.
necessary evil, difficult to go through, yes, but beneficial. Some would say having a mental breakdown is a negative thing, which on one hand I agree, but on the other hand it was the push I needed to get help and start the healing process. See, if I'd never hit rock bottom, would I be the person that I am today? I don't believe so. I'm a prime example of what happens when you choose to not accept defeat and face your demons. Took me 30 years to realize that if you want to get that opportunity to be the greatest version of yourself, sometimes you gotta be someone you're not to hear the voice of reason. Having kids will make you really.
Wow, talking about how growing pains a necessary evil. What a bloody flow switch again. Now I know it just talks about how he obviously went for a mental breakdown. He's saying, some would say having a mental breakdown is a negative thing. He says on one hand, I agree with that, but on the other hand, I needed it. It was the push I needed to get help and start healing. Talks about if I'd never have hit bottom, would I be who I am today? I don't think so. It took him 30 years to realise that if you want to get the opportunity to be the greatest version of yourself, sometimes you've got to be someone you're not to hear the voice of reason.
Take a step back and look in the mirror, at least for me, that's what it did. I wake up every day and pick my son up, hold him in my arms and let him know he's loved. Standing by the window, questioning if that is ever going to show up. Isn't something he's gonna have to worry about, don't get it twisted, that was in the shop. Mama, I forgive you, I just don't want him to grow up thinking that he'll never be enough. 30 years of running, 30 years.
Now he's teleported onto the top of a mountain and he's talking about how having a kid will make you take a step back and look in the mirror. It's what happened to him at least. Now he wakes up every day and picks his son up, holds him in his arms and let him know that he's loved. He said his child won't ever have to question if his dad is ever going to turn up. I'm assuming that's what he's been through. He starts talking about his mum. He's saying, standing by the window questioning if dad's ever going to show up isn't something he's going to have to worry about. That wasn't a shot, mama, so he's obviously got issues with his mum.
Years of searching, 30 years of hurting, 30 years of pain, 30 years of fearful, 30 years of anger, 30 years of empty, 30 years of shame, 30 years of broken, 30 years of anguish, 30 years of hopeless, 30 years of hate, 30 years of never, 30 years of maybe, 30 years of later, 30 years of fate, 30 years of hollow, 30 years of sorrow, 30 years of darkness, 30 years of hate, 30 years of baggage, 30 years of sadness, 30 years of stagnant, 30 years of change, 30 years of patience, 30 years of suffering, 30 years of torment, 30 years of 30 years of bitter, 30 years of lonely, 30 years of pushing.
I don't want to pause it here because he's going off, so I'll rewind it. But at the start of the song, he did telling himself like 30 years you've been stacked and we're not where we need to be. Now at the end of it, it seems like it's coming to the end. He's saying 30 years of hurt. He's just going on like 10 sentences of 30 years of something, 30 years of something else. It's crazy, but it's very clever.
Broken, 30 years of anguish, 30 years of hopeless, 30 years of hate, 30 years of never, 30 years of maybe, 30 years of later, 30 years of fate, 30 years of hollow, 30 years of sorrow, 30 years of darkness, 30 years of hate, 30 years of baggage, 30 years of sadness, 30 years of stagnant, 30 years of change, 30 years of patience, 30 years of suffering, 30 years of torment, 30 years of 30 years of bitter, 30 years of lonely, 30 years of pushing everyone away. You'll never evolve. I know I can change. We are not enough. We are not the same. You don't have.
It's like the demons inside coming out there and saying, you'll never evolve. And then actual me is saying, I can change. Then they're saying, we're not enough. And he's saying, we're not the same thing. Then inside is saying, you don't have the heart. And then he's saying, you don't have the strength.
You don't have the strength, you don't have the will, you don't have the faith, you'll never be loved, you'll never be safe, might as well give up, not running away, you don't have the guts, you're the one afraid, I'm the one in charge, I'm taking the reins.
Wow, what an abrupt ending. Fantastic song that was. Hope. Don't really know what that might be the kind of song you need to listen to when you've listened to the earlier ones that link in. There's clear links in there that I didn't get, so I do apologise. I can't get a full reaction, but in terms of the lyrics in the song itself, I'm adding that to the playlist. It was fantastic. So big thumbs up from me. If you like the content, like, subscribe, and leave your comments on what you thought of the video. Peace.